Initiating podcast download. Prepare yourself. Put on your spandex. Lace up your boots. Wrap your wrists. Hide your razor blade. Head to gorilla position. Grease up your hair. Apply baby oil. Okay, apply more baby oil. Get into gimmick. Keep your ears open and your mouth shut. Have fun and be safe out there, brother. Welcome to Iron on Wrestling. Now your host, Gregory Iron.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Iron on Wrestling with Gregory Iron. I'm your host, Gregory Iron, and this is episode 153. And ooh-wee, do we have a great show for you today, as today we will be talking about not the best, but the
I'm better swag. Popping bottles, putting supermodels in the cab.
Pardon the interruption. It's Aaron Bauer in the house. Yes, some people call me birthday boy.
Okay. Wow.
All right, where is it?
Where's what?
Where is it?
Where is what?
The big gift, the big reveal. I am ready. I have been working my fingers vigorously to the bone, so that way they are prepared to untie the bow that you will have obviously put onto the package that you will deliver to me now. That is wrapped.
I don't have a gift.
You don't have a package?
Oh, Jesus Christ. What? Can you turn your phone off?
Hey, it's my birthday. A lot of people are calling me, texting me.
Anyways, I do have a couple gifts for you. I think some people called into the Iron on Wrestling voicemail line, and they may or may not have wished you happy birthday. I don't know. I didn't check. I do know we got some calls, so I'm only assuming that it is for you. And you can leave any voicemail you want on the Iron on Wrestling voicemail line by calling 252-696-IRON. So I'm going to call
That's 252-696
Iron.
Iron?
Yes.
Okay.
And
I'm going to call right now.
No, don't. I'm going to play these voicemails. But before I do that, I want to talk about what we're going to be doing on this episode of the show. Aaron made a return to pro wrestling this past weekend. We are going to talk about that, but I don't know if your return was bad or good, but I wanted to focus on some of the worst, more forgettable returns in professional wrestling history. So we're going to talk about those today. I think it'll be fun discussion. I think we've talked about the best over on patreon.com/Iron on Wrestling, where you get a buttload of bonus content. It was one of the bonus episodes. Now we're going to talk about the worst. I think we touched on some of the worst before, but we're going to go in depth today. Before we do that, let's get to some of these voicemails and see if someone actually cares that it's your birthday, Aaron. Here we go with voicemail number 1.
Hey, this is Frank Weller from the North Olmsted Ambiance, the store for lovers. And I have an order from, let me look at the name, Jeffrey Iron.
Okay.
Yes, Jeffrey, your inflatable has came in today, and we'll just
Okay.
give you a heads up. You can come over anytime and pick it up. Again, this is for Jeffrey Iron. If your inflatable Goofy sex doll is in, just give us a call or just come by the store and pick them up. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. I went to my voicemail. I didn't mean to do that. I like Goofy. I don't think that was...
Yeah, you definitely like Goofy. I saw it in the pictures, bitch.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about my vacation. Goofy is my friend, longtime friend, but I think this might have been a wrong number to my personal voicemail. But let's go to some other actual things from the Google Voice.
Hey, Aaron. It's Sam from Patreon. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so I'll pack as much as I can into a quick message. I hope your day is as great as your balls are hairless, and that you have a truly happy birthday and meow more.
Wow.
Thanks for everything, buddy.
Well, that was very
Like that.
nice.
Yeah,
Sam
yeah.
over on Patreon.
I love it when people can appreciate a good shaved ball or two.
Yeah. The Manscaped, official sponsor of Iron on Wrestling. We'll
And the
talk about
official
that later.
sponsor of my birthday.
Okay, let's see if we have any more here.
I'm going to
Okay,
let
here's
you
another
shave them for my birthday.
Stop it.
Hey, Greg and Aaron. It's Eric. How you guys doing?
Eric?
Thanks. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I just wanted to call in and wish Aaron a happy birthday. As a fellow May birthday, we are part of the elite people, and it's nice to wish a fellow Taurus a happy birthday. I also want to congratulate them on taking the podcast, Greg Free,
Okay.
and
It's not true.
helping wish Greg on on his future endeavors.
Yes.
I don't know how that is. But anyway, I just wanted to call in and wish Aaron a happy birthday, and Greg, hopefully you'll find a better job as a co-host somewhere else.
Well, that's disrespectful.
Well, that was because I don't know if while you were gone you understood what happened, but I had figured out the password. I commandeered it to the Patreon account, and I went Greg free for about a week.
Yeah, I don't know how you got the password.
And then what I don't understand is how did you then get the password that I put in? I mean, it had to be hard to figure out my password.
It was not what I expected it to be. I had a hard time figuring it out on my own, so I had to go to a special source, a psychic medium, if you will. And he was able to predict what the password was.
Wait.
Yeah. He had a premonition.
Who?
Bratty Earl.
You called Bratty Earl the brat?
The Brad, yes. I called him, and he took some time, closed his eyes as I was talking to him on Zoom, and he said it's a number between 3 and 5. I'm not sure how you made the password 4, but you did.
Man, that Bratty Earl always reading my mind and shit.
But also not a lot of safety to the account. So in the future, if you are putting in passwords with just a singular number, which most websites don't even allow, maybe don't do that.
Well, it was I figured nobody would guess it then because it was only one character.
Okay. Well, I didn't delete any of the dumb shit that Aaron posted while I was on vacation, which again, I'll talk about my vacation shortly here. But let's see if I have any more people that called into the voicemail line and wished Aaron a happy birthday.
Whoa! Good day, Aaron. How the bloody hell are you, mate?
Oh, no, not again.
Looking good.
No, it is.
Shows you're stinking alone, mate. It smells like rotten sardines. And, matey, you know what that smells like. Can't talk too loud about that. The woman might hear it. and get smacked in the head. WWE Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame here, Bushwhacker Luke. Happy birthday to you.
Whoa.
Happy birthday to you.
He's stripping.
Happy birthday,
Is that his nipple?
Aaron. Happy birthday to you. For he's a jolly good fella. For he's a jolly good fella. Anyhow, many happy returns today, Aaron, from your mate, Gregory Iron. He loves you a lot, mate. And he's the one that booked the shout-out. Yep. Yep, he's the one that booked the shout-out. Anyhow, Aaron, if I was around you today, I'd grab you in a big bushwhacker bear hug and I'd lay the smack down on your head. Behind closed doors. If the public saw me doing that, they say that Bushwhacker Luke's handing around the virus.
That behind
There'd
closed
be a
doors
new
you like to do
variant,
it.
the whacker variant. How about that? No good. Anyhow, many happy returns of the day, Aaron. Hey, I see you turn 69 today. You got 31 years to go to make the 100. As Hogan would say, say your prayers and take your vitamins, brother. You'll make that 100, mate. Anyhow, mate, God bless you to make 69. Hey, I'm about 6 years above you, but making 69 is a great achievement, mate. You got that? Yeah, let Gregory know. It's a great achievement. Anyhow, so I hope you're sitting back today, Aaron. Your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever your family, are looking after you. They cooked you your favorite food. You're sitting back.
I think he was dozing off there.
See, one of your grandkids or your kids handing you your favorite drink, whether it's a cocktail or a beer. Someone else is handing you your food. Mate, that's life. Good food, good company, and a good bloody drink. And have a couple on me, Aaron.
Yeah, I bet you'd like a couple on it.
Yeah, have a couple on me. Hey, it's out of your pocket.
What?
You got to enjoy the holiday.
He said he wants to get in my
the
pocket.
fullest, mate, because it only comes around once a year. And you don't know whether you're going to be here for the next one. Well, you're going to be. And I'm hoping I'm going to be too for my next one.
He's yawning.
Yep. So you enjoy it, Gregory. And you enjoy it, Aaron. And thank you, Gregory, for booking the shout-out.
Yeah, good save.
Hey, it's guys like you out there that keep me alive, booking me for these shout-outs and independent shows around the country, Comic Cons, wrestling cons, and what have you. Anyhow, enjoy it to the fullest, Aaron. Get sport rotten. Hey, you're only 69 once, mate. Anyhow, you must be wrestling fans. For Gregory to book me for the shout-out, you must be wrestling fans.
No.
And from the great era, the classic era, 85 to 95, that's when we had all the good characters, mate. Yes. Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Donkey Dong Man, Jake the Snake, Hacksaw Jim
Looks like he's
Duggan,
dozing off again.
Big Boss
Literally
Man,
closing
One
his
Man
eyes.
Gang, Rick Rude, King Kong Bundy. Boy, I can't miss out on this guy. Rowdy Roddy Piper, a good mate of mine, was around him for many years in many territories. And I'm doing a show tomorrow, which is going to be shown on Vice later this year, called Territories, on Vice Network and that. And I'm going to be talking about Oregon, 1969 and 1979, 1980, with Butcher Me against Roddy Piper and Rick Martel. That went on for a year.
I like this.
Anyhow,
cameo.
get back to this. Andre the Giant, what a great guy he was. Butcher Me wrestled him in New Zealand 69, 70, before he even come to this side of the world. Great guy. Hey, great guy. Hey, mate, everything was big with Andre.
What?
When he farted, fuck, You know, he'd come from the
When he
first
farted,
class on the plane, walked to the back and they pulled the curtain so he could pee in the bucket or whatever he had to do in the bucket. But he let one rip when he walked down the aisle. And then by the time he went to go back, everyone in the plane was like this. They're covered up. Fuck. That fart of his was like, what could I say? I can't explain it.
Okay.
You got to be stuck there in it because you choke. It was a vicious smell. Everything was big with Andre. You know, 2 gulps in a beer can. You know, 12 ounce. That was 2 6-ounce
Beer of
gulps.
can.
We came back from way up north. I can't even think now.
Falling asleep again.
The Yukon era.
Closing his
Coming
eyes.
back to Montreal. We've been way
He
up
looks like a psychic.
north, about 12 hours above Montreal. And we have a whole back. We'd only been on the road for 2.5 hours. Him and his manager, Frank Bauer, had drunk 72 cans of beer. I remember pulling it over.
Oh, yawning again. All right.
Him pulling over and buying another 72 cans. You know, keep them going. The truck stops open all through the night. So when I'm talking about, Frank was a big guy too, about 280, but not like Andre, 400s. But they sucked back that beer. Wild. A lot of Andres. Go back with Andre in New Zealand in the 60s. Crazy man, crazy times. And Rowdy Roddy Piper, another good mate of mine. But crazy man. We got fined one night. We got pulled over one night, 2:30 in the morning, and they took us to the courthouse. The judge got up from his home next door to the courthouse in a dressing gown and slippers and come over and fined us, Roddy and Butch, with the gravel. Bang, fined you so much. And thank God we had the money to come up. Otherwise, they take your license off you, and you have to come back to that town and to get it. And in the meanwhile, you're driving around with no license. If you get caught with that in the Carolinas those days, you're put in jail. Anyhow, we come up with the money, paid the fine, and we come out. And with the judge is sitting at the desk.
Well, now he's not the only one falling asleep.
4 feet away. Butch and
You could have played half of this for my 46th birthday.
Pistol over the window. The judge turned sideways like that. He would see them pissing over the window, and the guy. I was yelling out to them, "Get out of here! Get out of here!" They didn't give a damn. They just pissed over the window there. Fellow, the judge was. Crazy times, mate. Anyhow, I'll let you go. Aaron, enjoy the day today, and all the best for the future. See ya down the road, brother. Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Yay.
Okay. Wow. 3rd year in a row, Bushwhacker Luke in the house.
Yes.
What a guy.
Hey, I think he did a little bit of a repeat of last year or the year before when he talked about all the greats.
Yep. But
Randy
also,
Savage,
he started the cameo the same way he always does. What's that smell, mate?
Sardine.
Sardines this year. Usually it's like you smell like shit. Need new cologne, new deodorant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I got to say.
Well, thank you.
No. Don't thank me because you have to thank Sam over on Patreon.
Sam.
He paid all the money for this Patreon or Patreon cameo request. I was going to do it myself, but you know what? Sam offered it up. I appreciate that from Sam.
So do I.
Bushwhacker Luke is going to get a 1-star rating for that cameo because this motherfucker, that is not what I told him to say. First of all, obviously I didn't tell him to talk for 8 minutes.
Right.
I appreciate him talking for 8 minutes. Here's what I actually wrote for him to say. Please say to my boo thang Aaron, it's his birthday and he thinks you're the sexiest bushwhacker.
Bushwhacker.
We still got 2 choices, right?
Yeah.
Aaron loves alpacas. Mention how he pays them $5 to sniff his mustache. Also, favorite WrestleMania 5 memory? Any rat stories? favorite nails and or Virgil stories. That's what I wrote him.
Yes.
I didn't get a Virgil story. I didn't get a Nails story. He named every wrestler on the WWF roster from 85 to 95 except Nails and Virgil, and didn't mention any rats. I hated this cameo. I hated it so much.
I loved it. I love that I got to hear what you asked him to say.
Yeah.
And then he didn't say it.
Not
and
at
then
all.
Because he said everything else.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean everything else.
Yep.
Like, in that cameo, he talked about the weather. He talked about wrestling. He talked about Andre passing gas. He talked about all kinds of stuff.
If you ever want to book a full Bushwhacker Luke shoot interview, just go over to Cameo and pay $40, and he'll talk for 60 minutes. So there it was.
Well, now I know the laws in Carolina.
Yeah, from back.
I
in
can't
whatever
drive
year.
without a license there.
Yeah, oh, go figure.
Apparently.
Wow. So that was a thing that happened. I'm going to make a compilation of the last 3 years of cameos from Bushwhacker Luke. I think it'll run probably about 30 minutes total.
It's the 3rd anniversary.
Yeah, so that'll be on patreon.com/ironandwrestling this week. I'll post a clip of the actual video footage over on the social media this week at Iron on Wrestling. So make sure you're following us on social media. And you can do that at Iron on Wrestling on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And yeah, make sure you also sign up for the YouTube, subscribe rather. YouTube is growing over there. We like to post special content over there. You can also get full episodes of the show. And I'm not sure anything else I want to plug right now, but probably should start talking about your return to professional wrestling this past weekend. Where do you want to begin? How do you feel?
Oh. We want to talk about me? I figured, let's talk about Greg.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm Greg. I had big vacation. Me, Greg, I like to go to Disney. Me, Greg, wear extra diaper. Long plane ride.
Why am I a baby?
Why would you be?
I don't understand. It was my first vacation of my adult life.
Okay, so you took it as a child. But tell us, we're all interested here.
I mean, if you...
Ooh, I'm Greg. If you got on a plane and flew and then touched down and you got to get a hotel room.
I didn't get a hotel room.
Oh, I'm Greg. I don't even stay at hotel with girlfriend. We take Uber.
You can't stay... You think we slept in an Uber all week?
You're not opposed to sleeping in cars.
I mean, I would.
I know you would.
But...
Surprised you didn't.
I stayed with the Gargano family in Orlando from Tuesday to Sunday, but staying till Sunday wasn't the plan, which we'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, to celebrate our 1-year anniversary, which occurred on March 14th as a gift, been talking about on the show, I decided to take my beautiful, wonderful, sweet girlfriend, Nicole, to the most magical place on earth, Disney and Universal. And it was a tremendous week. We got in on Tuesday, and we went to Disney Springs to eat some food. We got some dones, as the kids say, donuts.
Oh.
And we
What kind?
Well, there were some gourmet donuts. I don't know what everybody else got, but I know I botched the spot, and Johnny made fun of me relentlessly about it because there were so many good-looking donuts. One that I was eyeing up was like this big Oreo donut, and I asked the lady behind the counter, "What would you recommend?" And she said, "Well, this cinnamon bun donut is made out of pure cinnamon bun, and I think you should get this donut." And I said, "Oh," and I'm thinking to myself, I usually lean towards Oreo type items or cookie dough type items. And so I said, you know what? Let me get this recommendation. So then I got outside and Johnny goes, "What donut did you get?" And I said, "I got this cinnamon bun donut that she recommended." And he goes, "That's just a cinnamon bun." And I'm looking at him like, fuck. It is just a cinnamon bun. And so then I had no choice but to eat this $5 cinnamon bun that I bought. And it was... Have you ever had a cinnamon bun before?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it tastes like. A fucking cinnamon bun.
They're so wonderful, though. Did it have the warm goo on the top?
It wasn't even...
White
No, it wasn't even
icing?
like a good cinnamon bun. It was just like almost like a honey bun. I could have bought a honey bun for like 50 cents, but I bought this $5
Oh, no, you got worked.
cinnamon bun.
You know
Quotation
why?
marks. What?
It was the last one there, and they were trying to get rid of it.
It's probably been on the shelf for years.
Like, some asshole's going to come in here, not know what he wants, look around, ask us. We'll tell him to get rid of this one with the fly on it.
Yeah. So
This one's been here since 5:45 this morning.
I got worked, and yeah, but before we actually got to Disney Springs, which ended up being the reoccurring highlight of my week, I got to meet little baby Quill Gargano. He's actually a baby, so if you want to do his voice, go ahead. What?
How old?
He's about 3 months old.
Oh, okay, so he could speak full English then.
Yeah.
All right.
I am baby Gargano.
Okay, no, you can't talk too much.
Me like being friends with Greg.
What?
We are same size.
You're a piece of shit. You know that? Did you see any of the photos I posted over on Patreon?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm locked out of it now.
Well, yeah, you are. But so I'm going to post a couple on social media, and follow me at Gregory Iron on Twitter or Gregory _ on Instagram. But I posted every single photo of this baby and a video over on the Patreon. And listen, I'm not a big baby guy. Like, I've had people at shows who are like, well, do you want to hold my baby?
Yeah.
And the answer is no,
Right.
I don't. Not that I don't like babies, but like, it's weird that you want me to hold your baby, right?
Yeah.
And I always feel awkward when, I don't know, like someone will like, that I know has a baby and they like want me to like interact with it, or I try to interact with it. Cause like, I don't want to overstep my boundaries, right? Like I just...
Your baby boundaries, yes.
Yeah, I just don't want to make it weird. But I don't know. There's something about this baby, and maybe it's because Johnny's like my brother. I just love this baby.
Yeah.
And it was so cute. And, Johnny does not deserve to have such a good, cute baby. This baby, like, never cries.
No.
Never whimpers.
Really?
Always smiling and happy. And I thought to myself, hearing all the stories of Johnny as a small child from his mom, this man was manipulative. I mean, he had a gimmick that he would do, and this is no joke. He had a gimmick that he would do where apparently if he wanted something and his mom would not do it, and for once she was not going to give in, he would start lightly banging his head against the wall and would say, I'm going to hurt myself until you give me this. And then she would get scared and she would just give it to Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he has this beautiful, wonderful baby who doesn't cry. Now there's still time for this baby to figure out how to be manipulative and become a little mini version of Johnny, which I'm hoping that he has to endure that suffering with experiencing a child that was much like him. But this kid was just the sweetest, and I got to hold it, and I was really excited about holding this baby because I mean, I'm basically his uncle now. I'm not like his real uncle. And I always find that weird too when someone's like not their real uncle.
Mm-hmm.
They're just kind of like a fake uncle.
Yeah, I don't like when people call themselves, like I don't know. Sometimes I've joked with the kids and said, oh, your Uncle Greg's coming over.
Yeah. Well, obviously they know that's not true.
Yes, they know that you're not their real uncle, but
yes,
you still say that.
Yeah.
Because they know that you're not their real uncle because they see you.
Sure.
You're not in jail.
And I mean, no real uncle would be like, okay, give me a hug and a kiss or make out with me. And they get really uncomfortable when I say that. And They've only made out with me a few times, so it's.
What did my son say to you the other day when you came in for, I think, contacts?
I can't even remember.
He said,
All they do is make fun of me.
Hey, it's Greg the Virgin.
Yep. And I was like, what? Come on.
I didn't even know he knew what that was.
Well, I
still don't even think he knows what it is.
He probably doesn't. But I love that your kids bully me, and I cannot wait for the day that Johnny trains this young man to bully me as well. I mean, he was already Johnny doesn't swear. We've talked about it before on the show, but if you're new to the show, Johnny does not swear.
In real life,
the most he says is hell. And when he says it, I try to tell him, that is swearing what you're doing, because he'll say, "What the hell, man?" And I'll go, that is a swear. What you're doing is swearing. And he goes, "No, it's not, because hell is a place." And I try to explain to him, but you are saying it not as a place, but as what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not, he's swearing. Like, I could say, "What the fuck?" He's saying, "What the hell?"
Sometimes it's not the actual word, it's the intent of the word that makes it a swear word.
It's his intent. And so he thinks it's okay for him to say, "What the hell?" or "Get the hell out of here." But it's not okay, because he's not talking about the place anymore. And
does he ever be like, well, Greg, you're a piece of shit? And you're like, no, you can't say that, because I'm not like a person, place, or thing. And he'll go, no, you're an actual piece of shit.
He doesn't say
He never says that?
No, he does not swear. But he was actively trying to take Quill's hand and give me the middle finger. So every time I look over at Quill, he's like, "Kid doesn't like you, man." And then he would start to move his fingers into the middle. And I was like, "Come on, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Yeah. The baby's friggin' adorable. As far as babies go.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not just being biased.
Right. No.
This kid is very cute.
And I'm not being biased either when I say that I have 3 children.
Yeah.
And so this baby that I see here, Quill, that's the 4th cutest baby I've ever seen. And I'm not being biased.
Who are the top 3 babies?
Xavier, Micah, and Colton.
Okay, that's very biased. So wait, you're telling me, because I think me and Johnny had this discussion before Quill was born. Like, yo,
I already know.
If your baby is ugly,
yeah,
you're going to have to admit your baby's ugly.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, and like right off the bat, usually babies come out looking like aliens.
Yeah.
And Quill wasn't much different. I mean, he looked like a baby that just came out of a vagina, But you give it a couple days, and it starts to look like a real baby. You can sort of determine, do I have an ugly baby or not?
Yeah.
But yeah, so we went to Disney on Wednesday. It was beautiful. Me and Nicole got a ton of pictures. I saw you giving them the angry emoji over on Facebook.
Not all of them. You guys were with the Millennium Force, I think, or something.
Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Millennium Force. That's
Millennium
fucking
Force.
Ride at Cedar Point.
Right. Yeah.
If you've never ridden it, you should.
It's awesome.
225 feet.
It's one of the tallest coasters in the world. It might still be the tallest, but I don't think it is anymore.
Who knows? Every year they come out with something bigger and better. But back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I saw you in a picture of some Star Wars theme picture. I didn't dislike that one. That was kind of cool.
Well, I have a bunch of those photos, which again, I've uploaded all of the photos over on patreon.com/ironwrestling, because I only put a select few on social media, but I've got like 5 albums exclusively for my closest friends.
Hey, did you get any, like a film strip that we could all sit around and watch one day?
Shut the fuck up.
Do a watch along or something?
Funny story about those pictures in front of the Millennium Falcon. There's a photographer who's, listen, it's great customer service, but he's really holding up the line, because like if you're a family of people, not only does he just want to take a picture of the whole family in front of the thing, he's like, okay, now I want to take a picture of just the boy. Okay, now I want to take a photo of just the girl. Now the boy and the girl together. Now mom and dad together. Now dad by himself. So it's like fucking taking 30 minutes with 2 people in front of us to get this fucking picture, right? And I'm getting pissed off because, we're at Disney for one day. I want to get as much done as possible. So we get up there, and, he's telling us to put certain poses, right? Yeah. And then at one point, he goes, now can you turn your hat forward for me? And I said, sure. So I turned my hat forward, and he looks at Nicole, and he goes, now I want you to look at him in this photo like, oh, wow, he's my hero. Most courageous man I've ever seen in my life. And I want you to take your left hand and put it on the brim of your cap. Okay. I know you know where this is going, right? And in my head, I'm like, I think this is going where I hope it doesn't go right now. So he's like, I want you to take your left hand. I want you to put it on the brim of your cap. Okay. And then I want you to take your other hand and give me a big old thumbs up. And then I look at Nicole, and Nicole looks at me, and she looks terrified at this. And then I immediately raise my hand. I go, I mean, I could try, but I don't think it's going to happen. I'm trying to shape my fingers and thumb into a thing. And he immediately is in shock. And he just goes, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just take your left hand off the brim of your cap and give me a big old thumbs up. Because he's probably thinking to himself, oh God, this guy's going to get me fired. Jesus, God, no. And so we got some nice photos, but it was a little awkward there for a second. But I figured, fuck you, man. That's payback for you making us wait 30 minutes behind two people to get this photo. I met Goofy, which I sent you a picture of, and then you were just a dick about it.
I felt like I took it easy on you for that.
You called me a bitch.
Yes.
For meeting Goofy.
So tell me what part of that wasn't true.
Shut up. I saw him.
Oh,
and
me, Greg, like to get picture with Goofy. Oh, put arm around me, Goofy. Greggy need Baba go night pee pee and caca.
I saw him, and I walked up to him, and I said, Goofy, nice to meet you. Big fan of all your films. And, he put his arm around me, tried to give me a couple little butt bumps there, little butt bumps going on. And that wasn't Goofy.
That was my Goofy.
That's not Goofy. That's not a Goofy voice at all.
Oh, shucks.
That's a terrible Goofy impression. And we rode a lot of rides. The best ride was the Star Wars ride, the newer one there, Rise of the Resistance. And man, it was so fucking cool. Like, I don't want to spoil it too much for anybody that hasn't rode it or will ride it soon, but it is, you will feel like you are on a starship.
Yeah.
You will feel like you're in outer space. It is incredible. If you love Star Wars, it is one of the best experiences you can have as a Star Wars fan. I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I've obviously seen all the movies, but...
Do you have a tattoo of it that you got covered?
Yeah, you got to love it a lot to get the tattoo and then cover it up, you fucking idiot. It was great. That was the highlight of Disney. We went to Universal on Friday, and that experience, complete opposite of Disney.
Did you get a belt when you went there?
Why would I get a belt at Universal?
The Universal Championship belt.
All right. That's... You're an actual moron. Also, for some reason, Universal closes at 6 on Friday and Saturday, which we didn't realize because we just went strolling at 11 because most days it's open to like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So we get there at 11, we see it's closed at 6. We're like, what the fuck? Why, Aaron, why would you close on Friday and Saturday at 6 p.m. instead of 8 or 9?
I don't know.
Who's going to Universal on like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday till 9? And they'll be like, you know what, it's Friday, Saturday. Let's wrap it up early. 6 o'clock. Stupid.
Yeah.
I did get to meet Lisa Simpson. I did enjoy going back to Springfield. The Simpsons part of Universal is always my favorite thing. I went to Krusty Burger. I got me a Flamin' Mo. It was very enjoyable. And you know what? I enjoyed the Harry Potter experience, even though I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. And the highlight.
Your girl loves her some Harry Potter, don't she?
Loves Harry Potter so much. I wish we could have spent more time there for her. But, since we showed up late, I guess not realizing we had to cut some stuff short. But the best part, they added a new Jurassic Park coaster. It's called why are you about to laugh at me? I don't understand why you're snickering.
You're so into this that I keep thinking, this sounds like me when I came back from Universal when I was 12. They got this new Back to the Future ride. And I went, and you really don't even go anywhere. It's just that the screen is moving. Go ahead.
You're a piece of shit. They have this thing called the Velocicoaster.
Ooh.
And it is magnificent. One of the best coasters I've ever rode. Take some time to wait to ride the Velocicoaster. It is sweet. Thursday, I went to Hogan's Beat Shop. Got me a couple new Hulk Hogan shirts. Hulk Hogan was not there. I do want to read a list of things that they are frequently asked in Hogan's Beat Shop, because I thought it was sort of humorous that they actually have to place this in the store because people ask these things all the time. Are you ready for this, Aaron?
Yes.
Frequently asked questions in Hogan's Beat Shop. Yes, Hulk comes in the store once a month. Yes, he owns the store and the one in Clearwater. Yes, he still lives in Clearwater. Yes, he still has 24-inch pythons. Yes, you could send items and get them signed. Yes, the restaurant Clearwater is open. Yes, the signature is original. No, we won't give you his home phone number or address. No, there are not specific days or times he comes in. No, we won't call him or take personal messages. No, we aren't related. Here's my favorite. No, he doesn't come in and rip his shirt off. No, he doesn't come in and stand behind the register. So how many people a day do you think come in and say, like, so like when
They have to be a lot, right?
right, like when Hulk comes in here, like, does he come in like rip his shirt off? Are you fucking kidding me? You think he walks in the door?
Or, no, here's what it is. They walk in and they see Hogan and they go, okay, so when's he ripping his shirt off? And they're like, well, no, he's just like a real human man right now. He's in his 60s.
Yeah.
He's probably not going to rip his shirt off because he's not in the ring.
What kind of question is, so like when he comes in here, does he like come in and stand behind the register? What, he becomes a fucking cashier when he walks in there?
He's the owner.
Like what?
He's the namesake.
It's so weird. Like people actually say, could you call him for me real quick?
Yeah. Could you call him and get him down here because I can't break this 20? Can you have the Hulk get behind the register?
So dumb. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a nice week. I could talk about so many more things. If you guys want to hear me ramble about it, maybe I'll do something extra for Patreon.
Nope. Wait, hold on. I'm getting something right now.
What's happening?
Jordan in the truck. Yeah. Okay. He said universally, every single listener has just said, no, Greg, that's okay. Pass on that one.
Okay. Also caught up on some Marvel movies.
You ever sat and watched or looked at somebody's family vacation photos? Or like, you know, the video footage of them on vacation. It looks like you guys are having a great time.
That's why I didn't post a bunch of them on social media, because I know that. I mean, even worse, at least I'm in the photos. I hate when like someone goes to a fucking beach or a concert and they're like, they post photos of like fucking there they are in the nosebleed section of a fucking concert posting their goddamn photos. Like, who cares? Like, oh, a sunset, cool, I guess, but it doesn't look good because you fucking took it at a weird angle on your shitty ass phone.
I love fireworks.
Oh God, that's the worst.
The 4th of July. People,
here's
the fireworks that are in my sky.
Idiot. Like, yeah. Like, I've never seen fireworks look like that. Oh, that's crazy.
And then you go to the next guy's page and same thing.
But yeah, it was a good week. The worst part about the trip actually was I missed Circle 6 on Saturday because, get this, have you ever heard about this in the history of airplane experiences? So we were supposed to fly home, we being Nicole and I. 6 p.m. was the flight. We were supposed to get back in Cleveland at 8:30. I go to check in at 3:30. And on the Spirit website, it says our flight is departing at 4:39. So I said, oh, fuck, we need to go to the airport right now. And they got
Who
us.
drove? Johnny or Candice?
Come on.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, come on. And
the people don't know, but Johnny's not really a driver.
yeah, he does all right for himself, though.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've been on 197,000 shows with Johnny in my lifetime, and never once has he ever pulled up in a vehicle.
Yeah. So we rush into the airport. Nicole's already paid for her bag. And we go up to the counter to try to like frantically give them the bag. And they're like, nope, can't take it. Too late. So like, fucking kidding me? So then we go over to try to go to security, and we go look at security, and it's just where the banister starts for security. It's 75 feet outside of it.
Okay.
And I'm like, there's no way we're making this flight. So we were stuck there another day, which was fine because, we were having a great time anyways. But Johnny's house is so incredible. It's much different than when I was there last year. They fix it up so much. There's like a movie theater in there. So we watched a bunch of Marvel movies that I had to catch up on.
Oh, yeah. You got a few in, huh?
Yeah. So we got 3 in.
Yeah.
We
Did you
watched-
see Thor Ragnarok?
We're not there yet.
Oh.
And I already promised Jess that we're going to watch that with her. You know Jess.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
Jess.
you sort of insinuated that you were going to spend the week that Nicole and I were away with Jess.
Yeah.
How'd that go? Because I was under the assumption that she just spent the whole week alone.
Right. That's what we'd like you to think.
Oh, okay.
So
That's what you guys do.
nothing happened at all. We did not. She definitely did not take me to a nice birthday brunch. And she definitely didn't take me to an escape room.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So.
Okay.
And we definitely didn't miss you guys.
And you have photographic evidence of this.
Yes.
Okay. And so you can send it
Do
to
you-
me and I can post it on social media
I'll send it to you right now, you son of a bitch.
Okay. Well, you send it on over to me and I will post it.
And I will.
I will post it on the @IronOnWrestling accounts this week. It's just weird that Jess didn't mention this at all.
We like to keep things a secret. We don't got to be public about everything like you and Nicole. Oh, here we are looking at Goofy.
Okay. Let's talk
Not everybody
about...
needs to put their personal business out.
I got you. I don't think we got too personal, but
Sometimes we like to do things that we don't want anybody to know about.
like what?
Like the things that we did this week.
Okay. Maybe you could talk about it with me off air. Tell me about your return to professional wrestling for Mega Championship Wrestling's Breaking Down Barriers, which is an event that supports adults with developmental disabilities.
So I had a glorious return to wrestling.
Tell me all about it.
Mega Wrestling.
Mega.
It's the championship.
Mega.
Who you champions, bitch?
Mega.
We the champions.
Mega.
Use a little champion snitch.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So, there we were. Mega Wrestling. There were approximately 500 people in attendance.
It's a good amount.
So it was a nice turnout. Yeah, it was for a good cause. I had a good time. It was weird to get back there. I didn't know how it was going to be. I was not nervous at all, though. It felt like home, coming back to wrestling after all these years.
Yeah.
But it was a good time. Things were run more professionally than I'd ever seen in the past at Mega Wrestling. They had a headset.
Okay. Wow.
Referee had the gimmick in his ear.
Earpiece.
Earpiece,
That's what they're
yes.
called, yes.
Yeah. And
The thing that you pretend to have in your ear.
hold on a second. A minute.
Okay.
Jordan in the truck is. Oh, he said less Greg this episode, more Aaron. I guess the people liked it when I took over the Patreon.
Again, I want to point out that you proclaiming on Patreon that this was going to be a Greg-free show now. The show is called Iron on Wrestling with Gregory Iron.
Now Greg free.
Continue.
Did you like other stuff that I did?
No.
I hijacked it.
It was...
I was trying to get pictures of my Pokemon up, but they wouldn't post them for some reason. And it was just like as a draft, and I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
I was going to contact you, but then I figured, well, that would be dumb.
Yep.
I had got to Mega. We had a match with I managed podcast superstar Jerry, which many people recognized from the show and had not realized that of this show and had not realized that he was professional wrestler Soda Pop Johnson in Mega Wrestling.
All right.
So that was fun.
Yep.
A lot of workers approached me and said that they find the show amusing and it's in their rotation along with like Jim Cornette and Arn Anderson, Jim Ross, and I
Wow.
said, Arn Anderson, I got a tattoo of his podcast.
Embarrassing. Okay.
No, so it was a good time. And my team was victorious.
Very good.
Along with Soda Pop Johnson, we had Cash Inc. and Ken Vasion. So Ken Vasion seemed to be one of the more brilliant minds.
Okay. Good to know.
So
Anything particular from the match that you
No.
did? Did you take any bumps or?
yeah, Ken and I met head to head. You know, the old double noggin knocker.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have liked it to have been milked a little bit longer,
Sure.
but outside of that, it was nice.
How was the crowd reaction? Everything?
Very good, very good. When we hit the floor, I could hear a fan saying, "You just gave Ken head,"
Okay.
and I like that.
I get it.
Yes, and then I heard a concerned parent say, "Could you please not say that around my child?"
Oh,
So I like that as well.
oh boy. Did was your return everything you imagined it would be?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know. I mean, because I really didn't imagine like what was going to happen. It's I don't know, people, because it wasn't like a normal show. Anyways, it was like, you know, dedicated to the clientele that I work with.
Right.
So a lot of people that I see every day were there. A lot of coworkers and that
Sure.
from my real job.
But they get to see a different side of you
True.
in a professional wrestling environment. So you didn't try to get a Beautiful Day video package made, and you weren't going to come out in a leather jacket with a jean jacket vest over top of it.
I should have, shouldn't I have? It would have been a beautiful day.
Missed opportunity.
No, we can go back.
I don't think you can.
Yeah, I'll just retire. Right now. I'm never, ever going back to wrestling.
Okay.
And then when I change my mind next week, I'll start the video package.
Wow.
It's a beautiful day.
So are you going to try to do things more actively, or this is just?
I don't know. I think it's a one-off. I don't think you'll ever get me to go back to professional wrestling.
Okay.
Ever. Ever. Not for any amount of money.
There was a little bit of a rumbling on social media, and apparently this is for people local and in the know. I don't know about this individual. Can you tell me about the Nomad?
Oh, yeah. The Nomad is a wrestler from Mega Championship Wrestling's past.
Okay.
And his claim to fame, besides having a beautiful head of hair, was also he had a tape ball. From every wrestling event that he's ever gone to, he's added someone's tape, wrist tape,
What?
to the ball.
I was gonna say, like, what did you say, a tape ball? But then
Yeah.
you just clarified, like a literal.
Yeah,
ball
so like
of
he
tape.
just takes like dude's tape, old tape that they have.
When I was a kid,
Uh-huh.
my grandma would save rubber bands
Yes, and make a rubber band ball.
and made a rubber band ball, which I found very amusing. I was also 4. So this man,
He's a full grown man too.
yeah,
He's probably in his 50s or 60s by now.
but a good head of hair for a guy in his 50s.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Like a lion's mane.
he made a tape ball, and he's like proud of this.
Yeah. So apparently, well, as soon as I saw him at the event, because I hadn't seen this man in like 20 years, and he goes, "Hey, saw you and podcast superstar Jerry on the flyer. Figured if you two got booked, I could get booked."
That sounds like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah. So, okay. And I figured he wasn't booked because, like, I didn't think people still booked that guy for anything.
Yeah.
Nothing bad, you know. I'm sure he's a nice man. And I think I was a part of his proposal to his wife because
Okay.
he did it in the ring while I was hosting the whatever the wrestling talk show I was hosting in the ring.
That's embarrassing.
He brought his girlfriend in there and he proposed to her. I think it was me and Ricky Shane Page.
How? God.
Yeah, we were in the ring.
You know, we did a bonus episode over on patreon.com/Iron Wrestling where we talked about some of the things that really grind our gears. This particular thing is one of them. If you propose in a wrestling ring at an indie show, I mean, chances are you aren't doing it for the girl.
Yeah, but if wrestling is your life.
It's just...
If wrestling is your absolute life, it's in your blood, you do it once every 90 days, no matter what.
Yeah.
You get booked in a local town,
Nomad's
4 miles from your house.
Nomad's been doing this 20 years, 20-year vet with 4 matches under his belt. Very impressive. Just...
I'm not saying that.
If you propose at a WWE show, I might let it pass. AEW might let it pass. But just a random local indie show. Again, also,
Hey, dude,
nine times out of 10.
it was a bar show.
Okay, that's even
It was in a
worse.
basement of a bar.
You're doing it for yourself, man. Like, I talked about it last year when I wrestled for H2O. And I watched a guy propose to his girlfriend, and she accepted it. He made a lap around the ring. He started cutting a promo, thanking everybody, like every wrestler, specific wrestlers for like helping him do this, and just like cutting a promo and like using like catchphrases. I was like, yo, this dude did this for himself. Like he hugged so many wrestlers. The last person he hugged, he didn't even hug his now fiance. She got out of the ring, and he was like just fucking going. And I was just thinking to myself,
Because he was in love with the wrestlers, not the girl that he proposed to.
yes. And I just thought to myself, like, what a cornball. What a fucking corny ass human being. You proposed at a wrestling show on a fucking dirty, blood-stained mat for yourself, man. It's just...
Maybe that's what his girlfriend always dreamed of.
No, she didn't. I can assure you, she absolutely did not.
Okay, so anyway, let's
Yeah.
get onto this tape ball. So
Yeah, so that's
so
something I want to know.
so apparently he messages management, and Brandon X messages him back and says, the only way that you can be booked is if you bring your tape ball with you. Because he figured it would be like, oh, I don't have that.
Oh, God.
And he goes, already got it in the trunk, ready to go.
How big is this tape ball?
I've never seen it. I've never had an
Come on,
interest.
dude. Are you kidding me? You knew this man was going to... His thing is a tape ball.
Yeah.
You heard he brought it. You didn't bother to try to see it.
Not in the least, man.
You didn't try to figure out any of the backstory behind it. Like, how do you know whose tape is whose?
Because I was, I don't know, but I remember being on shows with him 20 years ago, and that tape ball was in attendance.
Also, that's gross, man. Again, my grandmother...
He brings
saved-
2 bags, 2 rolly bags. One has his gear in it, and the other has his tape ball in it. And the tape ball has like a pillow, so it doesn't get damaged.
What? You don't know that for sure. 'Cause
Yeah.
You haven't even fucking seen the tape ball. You can't even
The
describe
one
it to
time
me.
he opened the suitcase, and he sprayed Febreze in it so that it smelled nice.
Okay.
I seen it.
The rubber bands from my grandmother's collection usually came from like newspapers and stuff. To my knowledge, they weren't covered in men's sweat, blood. I mean, this is just a disgusting thing to create. A fucking tape ball. Are there any... Can I find any Nomad matches out there? Do they exist? Because I would like to see this guy perform if he is a known tape ball collector.
I'm sure there's something out there. I'll dig through my stuff and see if I can find.
Because if we find this content, we're going to put it on patreon.com/Iron Wrestling for sure. We're actually going to put your match from this weekend on patreon.com/Iron Wrestling. So we'll see how that goes. We'll have the people of the Patreon judge as to whether or not this was a good return or not. But if you have nothing else to add, I'm going to use that as a way to segue to a commercial break. And when we come back, we could talk about some of the worst returns in the history of professional wrestling. What do you say?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, we'll be back shortly.
Greg, I know you just spent a lot of time in foreign land.
I was in Florida.
Well, Disney World. But you know what's coming up, don't you? That's right. Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, that is a thing that's happening this week.
And I'd like to celebrate with you by sharing my family's time-honored tradition on Cinco de Mayo.
What's that? You make tacos?
No.
I don't know what else you would do. Maybe a little bit of a dance, maybe a salsa, perhaps?
Oh, salsa does sound good with some chips, but no. In my family, it is a time-honored tradition of the Garcia side. We all like to shave our balls on Cinco de Mayo.
Even the women?
Even the women.
Wow.
Yep.
Well,
I shave one ball, she shaves another.
okay, that's disturbing. Well, good news. Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-belt grooming, just relaunched the Ultra Smooth package. It's back, baby. Your new favorite tool and complement to the Lawnmower 4.0 will keep your boys smooth while looking and feeling their best, especially with Shave Boy Summer right around the corner. The specialized groin shaving kit is here to help you buff, protect, and shave your most sensitive areas. It's time to crop that bush of yours and get right to the roots with the discount just for you from Manscaped and us here at Iron on Wrestling. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com when you use promo code PARDON, PARDON, PARDON. So here's what I want you to do. Step 1. Grab your handy Lawnmower 4.0 and give your boys the classic trim to your liking to get the loose hairs out of the way. And then take out the Manscaped Ultra Smooth package to make your package the perfect package this summer. Step 2. I want you to use the Crop Exfoliator infused with ingredients that can soothe, clear, and keep the skin on you and that around you on your groin feeling refreshed. This crop exfoliator can help reduce the risk of ingrown hairs in your delicate places. And listen, I've had ingrown hairs in those areas, and it is not fun. Aaron, have you experienced that before?
Yeah, I have one now. Can you help me exfoliate?
I will not do that. You can help yourself. And in fact, you can help yourself
It's my
with
birthday.
Step 3, don't care, crop gel. See what you're shaving with our unique clear shaving gel just for the groin. With 4 essential oils, it's like a spa treatment every time you shave. You love essential oils, don't you? What are your favorite essential oils?
Lavender, because it helps me stay calm.
Okay.
And turkey leg.
Okay. That's not
That's one of the
essentials.
essentials. It smells like Thanksgiving, and
Okay.
that always puts me in a good mood. And then there's also Exxon. Exxon's one of the best oils I enjoy. It's
Okay, you're a
smooth
moron. I'm not
in my car
not
when I'm
even-
trying to do 1.21 gigawatts.
Are you trying to lose this sponsorship? I don't know. Step 4, it's time to shave. That's right. The Crop Shaver was designed for shaving the groin area with confidence. 3 precision blades include extra wide lubricating strips, and I know how you like lube, Aaron, and a pivoting head for the ultimate groin grooming experience. The Crop Shaver is not your average razor. It's smaller, thicker, much like the ladies tell you, Aaron, with a micro comb bar that allows for the best shave possible from any angle. Beach balls are meant to be smooth, and now yours can be too. All 3 of these are vegan and cruelty-free. and sulfate free, and are included so you know your manhood is in good hands and without compromise. It's time. It's time. It's time to get up and close personal with the best tools for the job. The Ultra Smooth package from Manscaped. Like I said, use promo code PARDON, PARDON, over at manscaped.com. You're going to save 20% and get free shipping. And you know what? We'll thank you because we appreciate you supporting the show. And I guarantee you, your balls will thank you. Do you agree, Aaron?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Anything you want to say about Cinco de Mayo now?
Nope. You ruined it for me.
Okay.
I really thought that you were gonna
what? I'm not
help me shave
I'm
my
not
birthday balls.
I'm not fucking doing that. But maybe you can help me come up with some sort of clever, creative, outside the box design for Juan Ortiz to create. Because, of course, Of the Dead Designs is also a proud sponsor of Iron on Wrestling. Aaron, any ideas? And please, please don't say the same shit you always say.
Well, okay, so it's my birthday.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is this designed for? Because you can create
for my
merch,
birthday cake.
You can create so your birthday cake.
Yeah.
Maybe I guess you can create a stencil for your birthday cake. People and bakers are really creative these days, so I think this is a lovely idea. Let's hear it.
And then you could have Candice bake the cake.
Candice is a tremendous baker.
Best baker in Cleveland.
Yep. Can't think of any others that are any good.
So there we are. It's it's me, and it's my birthday, and it's a cake, but also that's the design. It's me looking at my cake.
Okay.
As if it were on a cloud.
Okay, you're done.
Hold on.
No, we're not doing this.
And then,
God damn
while I'm looking at the cake, I go to blow out the candle. And I look and I say, that's a funny looking candle. It's not a candle.
What is it, Aaron?
It's a fishing rod.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. Anyways, listen,
Wait.
Juan Ortiz has been in the industry for 15 years.
And
What?
I'm like, what? And it's emerging from the cake. And it's being held by a very special someone.
Who is it? Come on. You're laughing at your own joke, so just get it. Yep. Whenever you're ready.
It's Jess.
It's
She jumped out of the cake for me.
Jess.
This is while you guys are at Disney World.
Okay, well, we're back from Disney World now.
I know, but you guys went back. You forgot. Little Kevin.
What? Who the hell is little Kevin? Why are you laughing at are you talking about Quill? His name's Quill.
You forgot little Kevin McAllister.
Okay. What is wrong with you? Why are you crying right now? You're making a Home Alone joke in May.
It's so dumb.
Jesus fucking Christ. Juan is a one-man merch design company who's created merch and designs for the best wrestlers in WWE, AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact, New Japan, and so many more. His designs have been in t-shirts and Hot Topic. He's had designs on action figures. This man is very well versatile in the design game. He doesn't just make merch designs. He can make a design for any occasion, even a fucking stupid occasion and idea like Aaron's birthday. He's got competitive prices that help you not only get more merch, but impress the ones that you love. And he's not just looking to create designs for superstars of today or tomorrow, but he can make something for you yourself. Tell them you heard this ad on Iron on Wrestling, and you'll save $10 on your first design. And guess what? Spots are open right now, but you got to act fast because Juan fills up his schedule pretty quickly. Reach out to him right now. You can find him on Instagram at ofthedead209, on Facebook at facebook.com/ofthedeaddesigns, or go to his website, ofthedead.weebly.com. Of the Dead Designs, bringing artwork to life.
Bah.
Why? You know what? I don't even know, nor do I care to ask. That's it. That's the live read. All right, we're back, and we are going to talk about some of the worst returns in professional wrestling, and we're going to try to get as many as we can in the next hour-ish. We might do some extra stuff from Patreon. We're definitely going to do a bonus episode for Patreon where we might touch on some more worst returns, but also it's The Rock's 50th birthday, so we're going to talk a little bit about that, maybe some of our favorite Rock moments, and who knows what else.
Don Morocco?
Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, that Rock.
Yeah, we're also going to talk about some recent news within the wrestling world, and we're going to do that on patreon.com/ironandwrestling, where for just $3 a month, you get a buttload of bonus content, starting with audio at the $3 level, $5 gets you video as well. $9 is the preferred tier over on Patreon, where you get not only the things that I just mentioned, but you get to pick a bonus podcast subject each and every month, and you get involved in the Zoom call where Aaron and myself will talk to you for at least an hour every month about a variety of subjects and some stuff we will never talk about on the podcast. You get the inside scoop into our lives and our maybe real opinions. Patreon.com/ironandwrestling. Make sure you sign up. There's higher tiers too where you get stuff in the mail from us. You could be in studio podcasting along with us. You could podcast with us directly on Zoom. It's fun times. It's worth the investment.
Oh.
What's that?
Producer's coming out on stage now.
That's not a thing.
Okay, I'm getting word in my ear from Jordan in the truck. He says we got to get going because we still got birthday stuff to do for me. Apparently, there's some kind of celebration or whatever.
There's not.
And
worst returns in the history of wrestling. We all know of the great ones. What are the worst returns ever in the history of sports entertainment? Do you want me to start? Or do you have something that comes to mind?
I have one.
What do you got?
Jake the Snake Roberts returns to wrestling at ECW pay-per-view to be Tommy Dreamer's mystery partner.
I forgot that was a thing.
And he wore like a polo, maybe sweats or something.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Is that better or worse than his return in 1996?
That wasn't that Heroes of Wrestling, was it?
No.
Oh.
That I don't know if that counts as a return. It was an indie booking in 1999. Very embarrassing scenario for Jake. Obviously, he's definitely cleaned up his act since then. But 96, when he came back with the Christian gimmick, and he had the Snake Revelations, wasn't in the best shape in the world. They quickly had to put that top on him that he wore for a while.
That's right. He started doing the unprettier.
He was... His religious belief was that of Christianity.
Oh, but that wasn't a gimmick, right? That was really Jake the Snake. That was really Jake Roberts, Arthur, or whatever his name is.
His name is
Aurelian?
You think his name is Arthur?
I think it's a possibility. Aurelian, is that his name?
Yeah, Smith.
Smith, okay.
Complicated first name, very simple last name. His ECW return to wrestling was not the greatest. The first one that comes to mind for me, because they were such a prominent tag team in the 80s and early 90s, Legion of Doom as LOD 2000.
Oh, yeah, that was really bad.
They came back at WrestleMania 14 in a tag team battle royal. Now listen, they got a great pop. I'm all for the return of LOD, but it just seemed like it was unnecessary to add Sonny, I felt. But also, the best idea you had for the Return of the Legion of Doom was a tag team battle royal. It just seemed like meh. And you got the initial pop and it fizzled out real quick. And they had to degenerate into some stuff that was just stupid. Like Hawk being a drunk, falling off the Titantron.
Always felt to me that that's how Vince viewed the Road Warriors.
What do you mean?
Like get real high on them for, their initial 6 weeks. And after you get that first feud out of the way, that he's kind of like, all right, let's just do whatever with them. We'll give them the belts, and then we'll feed them a bunch of rhythm and blues type teams.
Yeah, sounds about right. But yeah, I don't know. For me, my first real favorite tag team as a kid, well, I mean, Legion of Doom was one of them. I love the Rockers, 2 very different teams, but those were like my 2 first favorites. And it just like LOD was so much larger than life. For them to just come back the way they did in 98 and them to fizzle out so quickly, just very disappointing. I also thought about this, forgotten return, WrestleMania 10. Mr. Perfect returns as the guest referee for Lex Luger and Yokozuna in the first WWF Championship of the night. And he sort of plays a factor in Luger losing the match. You think it's going to lead to something.
Yeah.
And it never does. And we don't see, I don't think we see him come back until, could be wrong here, but off the top of my head, SummerSlam 1995? Maybe it was even Survivor Series 1995 as commentary. It's one of those 2 pay-per-views.
Right. Okay.
Like, so what were we building towards here?
I don't know. Something that got cut quick.
Yeah, for whatever reason. He had a weird relationship with the WWF around that time.
Because weren't they going to do something, or hadn't they done something? When Luger debuted, they had done something it was narcissist versus perfect.
Yep.
What's better than perfect? A narcissist.
Right. And then they got away from that quick, and Perfect went on to Shawn Michaels, and they had a kind of lackluster match considering the 2 people involved at SummerSlam 93. And then
that sucks because I wanted that to be a great feud.
Yeah.
Huh.
He was on his way to being in one of the Survivor Series teams in 93, and he just sort of disappeared. And depending on what you read online, he just stopped showing up. There was a contract situation. A lot of different rumors as to what was going on around that time period. We, of course, see him again like at WrestleMania 10, as I said. Not the best return for one Kurt Hennig. What about Yokozuna at WrestleMania 11? I did end up enjoying the tag team of Owen and Yoko, but I just felt like last time we see this guy, he was the top dog. He just comes back as a tag team guy. Sort of random for him and Owen to be together, but I guess behind the scenes it made sense because his weight was becoming an issue. He needed someone to compensate for him. But for a guy that was on top for basically since the moment he debuted in the company in 1992, it's sort of disappointing.
Yeah, I thought that was a letdown as well. And especially because it was like there wasn't really a tie-in there. You know, it wasn't like Yoko was part of the Hart Foundation or something from years ago.
Right.
It's just... All right.
What else you got?
The other one I was thinking was the return of Mike Rotunda to WCW as what was he? Michael Wall Street.
Oh, God. So you're talking about after he left WWF?
Yes, as IRS, and then came back as Michael Wall Street.
That was really
and
bad.
then changed to VK Wall Street.
Little jab at Vinnie Mac.
Yeah, but that was whack.
Unnecessary. Also, he looked, I guess the original Michael Wall Street character probably looked a little similar to IRS, and they were trying to avoid some sort of copyright issue, a legal issue. But he just looked goofy.
Yeah.
As Michael Wall Street the second time around.
He was like Michael Keaton. I always thought he kind of could play that.
Sure.
Kind of a... He should have been Batman.
I mean, anybody would have been better than George Clooney at that point, so I'd be all for
he
that.
was the best one.
Okay, that's
Clooney's not. He wasn't a good one?
an incorrect statement.
Because I know people hate Val Kilmer.
Yeah, but I think Val Kilmer is hated for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
You know, too much of a, I guess, method actor, took things way too seriously. You'll hear. I mean, if you haven't watched it, you sort of get another perspective from his point of view. There's a documentary called Val on Amazon Prime. Very interesting.
Is it about the Big Valbowski?
Moving on, you brought up terrible returns to WCW. I mean, before we move on, though, I want to point out, too, it was very random when VK Wall Street was inserted in the NWO. And I feel like maybe that was when the group started to get watered down, because he was pretty early in the NWO. Him and Big Bubba, it just felt weird. But then also, there was a weird thing in the storyline where they still technically had contracts with WCW, so they didn't count as members of the New World Order, and so J.J. Dillon takes them out of the NWO. Only two guys they do that to.
Yeah.
Very weird.
I don't even remember that part of it.
Yeah, he came out and made an announcement and everything that Big Bubba and VK Wall Street no longer in the NWO. And I'm just like, okay, well, no one cares about these guys in WCW or the NWO, but all right. But bad returns to WCW. One of the only homemade characters that they had in the mid to late 90s was Goldberg. Big babyface, ran through guys, kind of fizzled a little bit after he lost at Starrcade 98 to Kevin Nash, and his streak was over. He is gone for a little bit because of the incident with him putting his hand through a glass window of a car on, I believe it was either Nitro or Thunder. He actually severed a main artery in his arm. If you've never seen that clip, it's very gross. Go to YouTube and find it. He's bleeding everywhere. He comes back at Great American Bash 2000. And he ends up siding with the New Blood, and he becomes a heel. And problem with this is nobody wanted to boo Goldberg. So it lasts for a month and a half, maybe. Mm-hmm. It ends by New Blood Rising when Goldberg does a fake shoot promo with Vince Russo. I don't know if you remember this at all.
Yeah.
But it's a three-way match. It's Scott Steiner, Goldberg, and Kevin Nash. During the match, Goldberg decides that he's just going to not take the jackknife powerbomb. He walks out. Vince Russo's in the entranceway. And Vince was like, go back in the ring and take that move. I can't do a New York accent. Yeah. Fuck my life. But Goldberg...
I liked it.
Goldberg looks him in the face and goes, fuck you. And then walks to the back. And then Tony Schiavone and Mark Madden, those guys start going, what are they going to do now? Goldberg just went off script. How?
Yeah, I kept remembering that off script part.
How are they going to finish the match? What? I probably could find the audio. Hold on one second.
Time to come out. The straps are down. Nash is ready to go. Hunting for anything in his path right now, guys. I guess for Nash, he wants to go right at Goldberg. He covered up powerbomb. He jackknifes him with those bad ribs. It's going to be all over. Nash would love to deliver this one, but Goldberg forces his way out. What happened there?
Goldberg's walking down the entranceway. Here comes Vince Russo.
He said he was having a fourth man in. He said, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
They bleeped it out.
Russo said, get your, you know what, back in the ring. And Goldberg said, Goldberg's walking. Where is Goldberg going? We know he's injured. Well, where is he going? And why is he going there? He walked out of the jackknife powerbomb, which would have been it. Hey, maybe Goldberg was supposed to do something to look good, but this doesn't make him look real good either. Let's call it what it is. I'm thinking Goldberg was supposed to go up for the jackknife. He's swerved Kevin Nash right there, and Vince tried to talking back into it, and he said no. Well, did you see the facial reaction of Nash? Obviously, he didn't expect it to happen at all. That's what we said here. And hey, Nash was a pro. Nash could have punched Goldberg out right there if he would have wanted. Not to do it. Run down like a ton of bricks like Nash just did now. Nash was a pro. Like the old.
Wow. Yeah, so he was supposed to go up for the powerbomb, but he didn't. Wow.
Well, Nash was a pro.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
It's just like they talked about Chris Rock. He was such a pro.
Very much so.
Yeah, so Nash was the original Chris Rock.
How disappointing was Shane Douglas's return to WCW in 1999? Oh, I'm hitting a sore spot here.
Oh, man. I was so ready for it. So many years were built on this feud. We're built up to this feud.
That being what, Ric Flair and
Shane Douglas. Douglas, I mean, it was being booked when it wasn't even booked. Douglas was, building it up himself for years and years in ECW.
Yeah. I mean, him being a part of the, wasn't the Radicals, they were...
Revolution.
The Revolution. Yeah, not the best. We talked.
They were
about
the Evolution, but Vince didn't like that, so they changed their name to the Revolution.
Okay, that's not what happened. I want to say that we talked about it in a bonus episode, sort of in depth, but basically, Shane, I thought was positioned to be the lead guy, but it really ends up sort of being Benoit, which I find weird. And Shane almost becomes like a mouthpiece for the Revolution, which again seemed weird seeing as he was Shane Douglas. And really, this is prime Shane at this point.
I say past prime Shane.
You think so?
Yeah. I think his prime was 96, 97, 98 ECW.
Why do you think it ended in 98? When did he lose his steam to you?
For me, and it probably sounds weird, but he started getting too big. Like physically. Yeah, I felt.
Okay.
And like his matches, the quality of the match diminished, I felt.
All right. I mean, I guess I could see that. I'd have to go back and really analyze this, but I'll take your word for it. You're the big ECW guy. So I'll take your word for it. What about the re-debut of Dustin Rhodes in WCW, but not as Dustin Rhodes?
Oh, yeah.
As Seven.
Yes.
With vignettes where we're insinuating that he might be a child rapist. I mean, that's really... was really what we're doing. He's like peering into children's windows and scaring them, and then he debuts floating in the ring like The Undertaker, and he, first night, cuts a shoot promo, which I'll play for you right about now.
Want everybody in here to take a good long look at this crap I'm in. What? I left the World Wrestling Federations for gimmicks like this. All of you don't know I was Goldust, and Goldust sucked.
What?
Goldust nearly ruined my wrestling career.
What?
You see, I wanted to come back to WCW because this is home for me, and I wanted to be just me, because that's what I can do, just be me. But the powers that be came to me and they said, Dustin, Dustin sucks. Dustin is boring. So I stand before you, and my new name is Seven, by the way, so they dressed me up like Uncle Fester to play trick or treat all year long.
Basically dressed like The Undertaker.
How is it, Bree? What you can do is take Goldust and shove it up your ass. You can take this silly-looking thing 7 and shove it up your ass. And you both can kiss my ass.
Wow. And the promo continues a little bit there. But
So then they say, okay, well, what do you got? And he's like, I'll be Dustin Rhodes. And they're like, yeah. So what do you got, though?
Well, do you remember anything that Dustin did after he was 7 in WCW?
I think he was 8.
That didn't happen. That didn't happen. The only thing I can remember of note is towards the end, I want to say the last pay-per-view, they end up doing Dustin and Dusty versus Rick and...
David?
No, Jeff Jarrett.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's actually technically the first and only time that Dusty and Ric Flair wrestled on a WCW pay-per-view, which is weird.
Wow.
To imagine that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? That's how much they were against the NWA, WCW and Turner and that.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't you have gone back to that? That's what made the most money.
You would have thought, but to no avail.
Because could you imagine putting the Flair Steamboat feud and the Flair Rhodes feud on a major platform like cable television?
Oh, yeah.
National TV? Because people were just getting that through at their local shows, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, they, at the end of Ricky's career, Ricky Steamboat does have a really, really high-quality pay-per-view match with Ric Flair. I think it was Spring Stampede 94.
Yeah.
One of the more underrated WCW pay-per-views of the time. I think it kind of gets overshadowed by a lot of the other stuff in 94 because Hulk Hogan comes into the company right after that, which is, it's funny to see the transition in the style in which they're going for from April of 94 to July of 94, the next pay-per-view, Bash at the Beach, when it's Hogan versus Flair. But you got to go back and watch Steamboat versus Flair from 94. It gets overshadowed by their classics in 89.
Can we rebook Hogan going into WCW?
We can at some point, sure.
It can't be right now. Right here, right now.
Give me a brief synopsis.
Hogan comes in, and he's coming in, and he has to face the winner of Steamboat and Flair. But this time it's Steamboat and not Flair.
Ooh.
So let's make us wait for that, right?
But you want Hogan to debut against Ricky Steamboat?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Babyface, right?
Okay.
Hogan goes over. Steamboat, who has never been a heel in his life.
I don't know if I like what you're saying. I can't even imagine him wrestling like a heel.
He gets upset. There's a rematch. Steamboat wrestles clean. Loses clean. Then he gets a third rematch. Then there's an accidental. Like he accidentally, maybe Hogan's foot's under the rope, but Steamboat gets the win. He doesn't want it that way, but it was a victory. Yeah, he's going down that route.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but the WCW fans hate Hulk Hogan. So they're continuing to boo him and cheer Steamboat.
Yep. That'd be interesting, to say the least.
Okay.
This is a thing I've been wanting to do for a while, is rebook some sort of classic storylines and things. So it's something that we could definitely do down the road. I want to experiment with this podcast as we grow and change. And
I want to experiment.
Okay, I know people enjoy the interviews, and we are going to bring back more interviews. Shut up! We're going to bring back more interviews.
Interview me as a cat.
That won't happen. Now,
meow, meow, meow.
Is there a more disappointing return than that of Kevin Nash in 2011? Oh, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but what about the pop that he got at the 2011 Royal Rumble? No, that was the return of Diesel.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the return of Kevin Nash in 2011.
Was that the thing with CM Punk?
That was.
That was like right after
he did Resolution 4 with us for Pro Wrestling Ohio. He had oddly enough, dyed his hair back jet black and his goatee, and he must have knew something was up at that point. Because then just weeks later, he comes back at SummerSlam 2011, and he helps.
I thought he dyed his hair back for Resolution, for Pro Wrestling Ohio.
Okay.
No?
Nope. He returns at SummerSlam 2011, helps Alberto Del Rio defeat CM Punk for the WWE Championship. So the Summer of Punk ends in roughly 1 month. The hottest thing going in wrestling.
The month of Punk.
After the pipe bomb. And yes, the Summer of Punk really lasted more and more prevalent outside of WWE for that 1 week than it did on television. That's for sure. Nash returns. He starts a feud with CM Punk. They have a back and forth and some shoot promos. And in the storyline, we get the idea or the impression that maybe someone had texted Kevin Nash to tell him to cost CM Punk the WWE Championship. And he insinuates that someone is one Triple H. This ends up leading to a feud between Triple H and Nash because they book a match between Punk and Kevin Nash at, I believe, Night of Champions, which would have been the pay-per-view after SummerSlam. For whatever reason, Nash can't do it. I can't remember the exact reason why.
Heart attack.
I don't think he had a heart attack. I mean, he did. That was the rumor back in '97 when he didn't do Starrcade. But for whatever reason, he needed to be medically cleared for something. For whatever reason, he can't come back until TLC 2011, where he has
to chase waterfalls.
No.
Oh, so he didn't go chasing waterfalls?
He did not.
At TLC?
At TLC, he wrestles Triple H in a TLC match. If you were not watching wrestling at that point, let me say that again. Triple H in 2011 wrestled Kevin Nash in 2011 in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. It is a terrible match.
Yeah.
I want to say it didn't end the show. It did not end the show because I think, isn't that when Bryan cashed in his Money in the Bank? I believe it is on Big Show. I think that's what ended the show. But it was pretty high up on the card. I have not watched in a while. I remember watching it live and being like, holy shit, I can't believe they thought this was a good idea. Maybe one of the worst returns to wrestling for Kevin Nash.
It has to be. It absolutely has to be. That fell flat in a hurry.
Yeah. Real.
Every time that dude tried to come back, it was like the universe was balancing itself out for how sweet it was when he debuted back in WCW as the Outsiders with Scott Hall.
And you know what? He never got higher than that because he comes back with the NWO in 2002, which you could argue was not a good return. The NWO fizzled out really quickly. Kevin Nash, as a singles, though, he gets injured a lot in 2002, has an extended leave of absence, comes back in 2003, gets put in a program with Triple H, and it just feels less than. It feels, even for 2003, very much out of place. They did 3 matches on pay-per-view. One was a tag match at Backlash. The other one was a match at Judgment Day, which ends in a schmaz, I'm pretty sure, or DQ. And then they do a Hell in a Cell match, which, again, sounds weird that Kevin Nash and Triple H in 2003 had a Hell in a Cell match that main evented a pay-per-view. It always seemed like, I loved Big Daddy Cool in 94 and 95, but it did not draw. Okay. 96, Kevin Nash coming in, NWO was awesome. But there was a lot of misses with Kevin Nash when he came back to WWE. Not for his lack of trying, but it just never felt like it belonged.
Is it a Kevin Nash thing?
It might be.
Because I remember pointing this out, that when we brought in Kevin Nash for Resolution, he did not outdraw Raven.
No, and he wanted a lot more money. And I'll just throw the price out there. Motherfucker charged $10,000.
Mhm.
Okay, and originally, I don't know if I've shared this story before, but originally, it was supposed to be covered by a guy from WrestleZone. The
Right.
majority of it. I want to say that Pro Wrestling Ohio had to cover at least 50%, but it might have been less. There was a falling out between Walt, the promoter, and this guy from WrestleZone. Wally still wanted to bring in Kevin Nash because we had been heavily promoting it in Cleveland. And so he foot the whole bill, $10,000. And the draw for Resolution 3 the year prior with Raven was something like 900 and some people. A lot of those were comp tickets as well that we gave to the Police Athletic League, Cops for Kids, which we worked with in the area. I don't know what the actual paid price was. Let's just guesstimate that it was
Who cares?
5 or 6.
Yeah,
But whatever the case was, the paid amount for Kevin Nash
Yeah.
was not more than it was for Raven. I think it was actually slightly less. And he had considerable more airtime on a local radio station here, a guy by the name of Alan Cox.
Yep.
Not only, they were originally supposed to give him one segment, they basically kept him on for the whole show. And it did nothing to move the needle for Resolution 4. No different than it did in 95.
And he's so good on those shows.
He
he
is.
was so good that they let him run the show and have the rest of the afternoon with them.
Yeah. It just, it's got to be a Nash thing. And so, like, let me ask you this. When he comes back as Diesel in 2011, huge pop.
Mm-hmm.
We backtrack to 2003. When he comes back as Kevin Nash, he's basically, they're trying to make him Diesel without calling him Diesel, if you remember. The theme music that he came out to, it sounded very much like Diesel Blues when he came out to that.
Mm-hmm.
His gear seemed Big Daddy Coolish. In fact, I think at one point they were calling him Big Daddy Cool Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Bruce Pritchard has talked about this on his show. He thinks that when Scott Hall and Kevin Nash came back in 2002, they would have been more over coming back as Razor Ramon and Diesel. Do you agree with that statement, or do you think it would have been a step back at that time for the characters?
I would have thought that they should have never come back as those characters. I thought that they had moved past that. But hard to argue with. They really didn't draw when they came back as NWO.
They did not. Hogan
And
was over.
Obviously, you could say that they were booked as the NWO, which is one entity. Had you brought them back as Big Daddy Cool Diesel 1 week and then Razor Ramon the next month, whatever, you could have got more money that way. Because you brought them back together and then that didn't pop anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I was excited for the return of the NWO, but I think I was wanting for something that I never got.
Yeah.
And also when you look at the return of the NWO, it was weird how they booked that in the first place. Like on the No Way Out pay-per-view, they booked them in the opening segment. Then they're weaved into the show the whole night, which again at the time I enjoyed because I just wanted to see the NWO. But hindsight being 2020, why wouldn't you make me anticipate the NWO the whole night? I mean, I know they're going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck did I need them weaved into the whole program? It almost made me feel like I got too much NWO on that first night.
Yeah. I would have been fine with just an attack.
Moving on, Rob Van Dam. A lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of highs.
Uh-huh.
But I'd like to think that his worst return, okay, maybe some people will argue TNA Impact. When we talk about prominence, his 2013 return to the WWE, very disappointing. He came back at Money in the Bank as a surprise entrant that year. I think he had a run against Dean Ambrose for a little bit, but the weirdest part of that feud was he's feuding with Alberto Del Rio for a little bit. Ricardo Rodriguez becomes his manager.
Yep.
And, I think I'm pretty good at booking wrestling, so I'm like, okay, I know what this is. It's going to make RVD look like a complete moron. But the idea is Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez have come up with this scheme
Mm-hmm.
to make us believe that there's some dissension and that Ricardo is really no longer associated with Alberto Del Rio. And in comical fashion, not only is he now the manager of RVD, but he's wearing airbrush t-shirts.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, so this will last a couple weeks and he's going to turn on him. That never happens.
Oh, right.
He never turns on him.
Right.
And he's just now the manager of Rob Van Dam. And I think he announced him too.
Yeah. Well, who do you think Rob's best manager was?
Oh gosh. It's got to be
Ricardo?
Ricardo Rodriguez. I
Yeah,
can't think of
because that's
anybody
what
else.
I think too.
Yeah, I mean, when I think of RVD, I don't think of someone like, I don't know, Bill Alfonso.
Oh, you mean Sabu's manager?
I mean,
You mean Taz's manager?
yeah.
You mean that referee?
Yeah. So basically, RVD just kind of flounders in the mid card until he's gone in 2014. And
So what's Ricardo doing these days?
he moved overseas.
Mm-hmm.
We follow each other on Twitter. I've DM'd him a few times. You know what? Maybe I should DM him, have him on the show, and talk to him about.
Why he was Rob's manager.
I would like to know that.
Yeah.
Should be a very interesting story. Give me another return gone wrong in any federation, any at all.
Dude, we could do this whole show on just bad Hogan returns and Flair returns.
Whoa. Bad Hogan returns.
Yeah.
Name 4.
Okay, well, the first one will be the time when he returned as Brutus Beefcake's partner.
Yeah, I guess that wasn't the best return. But it led to him winning the WWF Championship.
And I loved it at the time.
So did I.
Because I
loved
figured
Hogan.
that's how it would go. Yeah, but that was really bad. Like, just the program with Beefcake. I don't know. Hogan's return to wrestling when it was in TNA.
That wasn't that bad.
No?
No, it wasn't. Okay.
Flair's return to the ring after retiring at WrestleMania against Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
No.
Should not have
Flair-
done that. He had the best send-off in the history of wrestling.
Yep. And he's had, 4 or 5 matches since then, would you say? No.
Probably more than that.
Way more than that.
Because
4 or 5 high-profile matches, man.
Yeah, but he
But then he went on a tour, right?
at the very least, he wrestled Hogan 4 or 5 times just in Australia
Right.
in the main event and bled like every night. So, yeah. Sad. Wow, Ric Flair might be the worst return
Yeah.
just because of how prominent his retirement was. I mean, that was by Shawn Michaels wanted him to stay retired, so it made his retirement in a couple years believable, which you want to talk about horrible returns.
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels returning for that blood money match.
I thought you were going to say at the Survivor Series.
Huh?
Or wait, when was it that he returned?
SummerSlam?
Yeah, maybe that was it. His first match back in all those years.
You know what? I got to have this motherfucker on the show. MLJ.
Shawn Michaels?
No, MLJ. He, ring announcer for GCW, wealth of wrestling knowledge. Sometimes he has opinions about wrestling on social media that I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, I don't care who knows this, but Shawn Michaels versus Triple H from SummerSlam 2002 is not a good match. And I don't care who knows.
Mm-hmm.
And people were agreeing with him. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Because Shawn returning at SummerSlam 2002, okay, he didn't wear gear. It was a street fight. Hello. He didn't wrestle like a big technical match, but I don't think Shawn he didn't think he could. I mean, not in WWE, but in 2001, he did also a street fight for his company, probably because he thought that's all he could do without re-injuring himself.
Yeah. You want to
so
take it easy.
He was playing it safe. I don't think that was a bad match at SummerSlam 2002. It's honestly probably one of my favorite Shawn matches. So
Honestly, this has said a lot about a lot of different people, but I don't know that I could name a bad Shawn Michaels match outside of his big giant return in the Blood Money match.
And that's not his fault. There was a lot of factors in that match that
I'm just saying that's the only bad one I can think of.
Yeah, he saved the match.
Like, how many high-profile matches has that dude done? And even when he was just, mid-card status or in a tag team.
Sure.
I don't remember any bad Rockers matches.
No.
You tell me a time where you were like, man, I was really disappointed in that Rockers match.
I can't think of an occasion.
Nope.
One of the returns that comes to mind that maybe goes under the radar because time has passed, I want to say one of the more embarrassing returns would be, well, okay, if we say embarrassing, to go back to WCW for a second, this one's obvious, Shockmaster, but, they ended up changing that to make it make sense. What did he become, like Uncle Fred or something? Was that his name after the...
Yeah,
okay.
and he was a guy that tripped on stuff all the time.
Yeah, so embarrassing considering that he left the WWF basically as a tag team champion beforehand. But another one that I think was slightly embarrassing and sort of a missed attempt, not sure why they went this route, Matt Bloom, when he came back as Lord Tensai in 2012.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
I understand what they were going for because A-Train leaves the WWE in like 2004, 2005. He really builds a new legacy for his career in Japan. Becomes a big deal over there.
Yeah.
So I think they wanted to incorporate his Japanese experience.
Yep. On paper, brilliant idea. I loved it when it came out.
Yeah, but...
And then it just didn't work. But I liked everything you're saying. You're right. They were trying to capitalize on that, and it seems like he had a rebirth in Japan and then took over Japan because he became a major star there.
Yes. I want to say it was because of the costume and the fact that they put Japanese symbols all over him.
Yeah.
They made
corny.
it a little corny and weird. But like one of the problems with his re-debut was the crowd was chanting Albert at him. And I feel like even if they wouldn't have put the silly get up on him, they probably would have chanted Albert. Am I wrong?
No, because
I think he was kind of damned.
He looks like Albert.
Yeah.
Because he was Albert.
There was no change in it. Granted, I think his best run was as A-Train, if we talk about his American wrestling days. Mm-hmm. A-Train was over for a little bit. He was in the main event scene.
I mean, dude, it would have been as easy as calling him Albert Tensai Bloom or whatever they were going to go for. So that way, then, when the crowd, chanted Albert at him, he could have used it as a heel thing.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm Tensai. I think they tried to just ignore it, though.
Well, one of the problems also with the re-debut of the character is, and I almost feel kind of bad saying this, I don't want to reopen old wounds, but a lot of people probably forgot about this because a lot of people also forgot about Tout. Do you remember Tout?
Yeah.
Touted out when WWE didn't want to use conventional social media apps and they wanted to sort of back their own. One of the things that Tensai did during this run was he made a probably pretty insensitive joke on Tout, which WWE removed. Do you remember his manager, Sakimoto?
No.
He had a manager that he debuted with.
I remember a manager. I didn't remember his name was Sakimoto.
Sakamoto. There was a video that Tensai posted driving from Raw to SmackDown, and he says in the video, it's very, very dangerous to drive with a Japanese person. Open your eyes. I think that sort of helped to halt the momentum that they wanted to put behind Tensai. Because if you remember, he debuted against John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem, or the plan was, rather, He was going to fight John Cena on a main event program. That didn't come to be.
No, it didn't.
And listen, again, this was...
I think they probably thought, we want him to be in a main event, but Albert is not a main event player.
Well, I think it was more so the backlash that came from...
Yeah, but again, you weren't going to get Albert.
Yeah.
But you would get Tensai. That's why I think that was a big part of the reason why they switched the name. But everything just got halted.
And I want to make it abundantly clear, again, this was 10 years ago. We all did things 10 years ago that we probably aren't proud of.
And I don't even know, maybe, his driver was falling asleep in the car, and that's why.
Much like Luke the Bushwhacker.
Thank you.
In the cameo earlier today.
Oh, man, that was so weird.
I don't know, man. I do know that there are people that have to close their eyes to remember things, and it seemed like when he was trying to remember things, he would close his eyes for a
He reminded me, I thought he was going to predict the future or channel a past wrestling legend.
Okay. 2 bad returns. Which one was worse? 1996 or 1998? The Ultimate Warrior. Which return was worse? Do I need to refresh your memory on both of them? Okay.
Because the one that you're talking about, the second one is in WCW. Mm-hmm. And that was when he debuted with there was smoke in the ring. It sucked.
And was supposed to talk for like 8 minutes, and he talked for 25.
Yep. Okay, so that was really bad. And then the one in 96 was in the WWF against Goldust? Or was it against Triple H?
Triple H.
Leading to WrestleMania.
Triple H hits him with the pedigree, kicks out, beats up Hunter in a couple minutes. Ultimate Warrior does end up having a pay-per-view match with Goldust, which is very weird. If you go back and watch it, it's at one of the In Your Houses. It's a lot of gaga. I mean, at one point, he's smoking Marlena's cigar.
Yeah.
He's sitting.
I think he got a hat on.
Yeah, he's sitting in the production chair.
Yeah.
It's a weird
His legs
match.
are crossed.
He wrestles Owen, I think, in his last match on TV. And I think at that point he actually had already walked out of the company, and they're saying, like, this is the last time you'll see Ultimate Warrior. It was like live commentary, but for a pre-taped show, because that's how some of it worked back in the day. And they're building for a main event match at In Your House International Incident, where it was going to be the awkward team of Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson, and Ultimate Warrior. They have to change and pivot last second, and
Shawn had to be like, "Is this a rib?"
Well, maybe even more ridiculous, the replacement for Ultimate Warrior becomes Sid, and that's a real team that forms on pay-per-view. What about so did we decide which is the worst one, though? It's got to be WCW, right?
Yeah, WCW has to be the worst.
Especially because you basically get 2 matches out of the deal, I think one of which is teaming with Sting, which was nice to see for fans in the know.
Yeah, but this isn't about the run. This is just about the debut or the return to wrestling.
I mean, I think it's kind of about the run. The run that follows the return,
All right. Yeah, well, then definitely the WCW one then.
I mean, Hulk Hogan was seeing Ultimate Warrior in the mirror when no one else could see him, but we at home could see him in the mirror. Very strange stuff.
I don't like that.
What about the British Bulldog? Do you know what return I'm thinking of?
Oh, when he came back and just wore jeans?
You got it. Jean, short, or jort. British Bulldog. He came out to different music. And right after they sort of give him a main event push where he ends up being in the 6-pack challenge at Unforgiven 1999, he quickly ends up sliding into the hardcore division, and he is in an alliance with the Mean Street Posse. This is the British Bulldog we're talking about. Man who, former Intercontinental Champion, main evented at Wembley Stadium, many, many pay-per-views within the companies over the years, was in the final couple guys in the Royal Rumble a couple years in a row, and he's just relegated to the hardcore division in 2000 before he just disappears from the company.
That was bad.
What a fall from grace.
Yeah.
Give me another one. What do you got?
The return of the big boss, man.
Ooh, which one?
Well, first of all, when he went to WCW again as the boss.
Yeah. That was
And then he was the man. And then he was the guardian angel.
Again, one of my favorite storyline changes. He ends up beating Vader with his nightstick as the boss. They go backstage, and Nick Bockwinkel says in a promo, he's abused his power. He looks at the boss in the eye and goes, you know what? Because of your actions tonight, you are no longer the boss. And takes his nightstick, and the boss goes, what? Ah, bah! And then he basically comes back as the guardian angel. Can no longer
And
be
now
his
Cleveland
title.
has a baseball team named after him.
That's not how that worked.
Hey, did you see that, though, the other day? I know you're a big baseball guy.
Okay.
The Cleveland Guardians face the Los Angeles Angels. So the scoreboard said Guardian Angels.
It would have said Guardians, Angels.
Well, were missing an S. So let me have my creative freedom when I tell a story, you bitch.
Not that she had the most prominent role as a wrestler, but would you consider the 2003 Return of Sable as a disappointing run?
Yeah. But I didn't want her to come back anyways. I didn't like Sable in any role.
What?
I never liked Sable. I didn't even like... I had to wait till her magazine went into the discount bin to buy it for Playboy.
Oh, come on.
No interest ever in Sable.
Come on.
I don't like her character.
You didn't like her catchphrase? Hit the line. Come on. Say it.
I'm here for the men that want to be me
No, you already
and
fucked
the
up.
women who just can't see me.
No.
I don't remember how it went.
I
Go
got to
ahead.
deliver it the way she does, too. This is for all the women that want to be me and for the men that come to see me. Are you boys ready for the grind? And then a very forced gyration.
How do they always land these women that don't know how to dance?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But a 2003 run, she comes back after
Suing?
after a $110 million sexual harassment lawsuit against the WWF at the time. She comes back shockingly in 2003, and the first thing she does is kiss Tori Wilson on the lips and gets involved in a very sexually charged storyline. And considering that a lot of her arguments were for her being asked to do sexually explicit things within the company during her lawsuit, it was kind of a surprise that she would be so gung-ho for a sexually charged lesbian storyline within the company, or at least lesbian undertones. And
not that there's anything wrong with that.
listen, I didn't have a problem with it.
Look, I love undertones.
Overtones too.
Ooh.
All the tones. She has a
Tony Atlas.
bit of a feud with Stephanie McMahon, which they have a match on pay-per-view that if you enjoy attempts of wrestling, you can go back and watch that match. Vengeance 2003. She is basically the girlfriend of Mr. McMahon at the time. I believe her most memorable moment within the company is a backstage segment with Zach Gowen, where Zach Gowen hits the historic line of, "Oh my God, Sable, I want you so bad." And then Sable says, "How could you ever think I want to be with a man like you? You're nothing but an amputee." And it's a very awkward backstage segment, which I bring up to Zach Gowen on a regular basis.
Hey, Zach's kids ever watch that?
I hope so. If they haven't,
You don't know this?
I want to be the first to show it.
I gotta hear it.
So that's a real thing. We're going to start wrapping up here shortly. Real quick, give me one or two more bad returns, because we've gone long over time today. And you know what? We're going to do some extended stuff over on Patreon. Not extended episode like we usually do, but we're going to do a bonus episode. But give me a couple more bad wrestling returns that didn't live up to the hype. So I'm going to throw a few at you, and maybe in a bonus episode next week when we have some time, we can go in more depth about it. Tatanka, 2005.
That was one I had in my head as a list on the list, and Mick Foley was another one.
Which one?
He returned to wrestling in TNA and won the championship.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was the champion.
He was.
That
was a bad run.
Yeah. He was having, like 1.5 star matches, and I didn't like his run with Sting that much. Nostalgia, I was like, oh, this is kind of sweet because, they feuded 10 years before that, but no, it was not sweet.
Haku in 2001.
In the Rumble?
Yes, should have been a bigger deal because he left as hardcore champion, and then literally a couple days later, he was on WWF television, fizzled out real quick. Scott Steiner, 2002 in the WWE. Goodish debut. He debuts with beating up Matt Hardy and Chris Nowinski. Quickly goes downhill from there with push-up contests and pose-offs and match with Triple H that we'd all like to forget from the Royal Rumble. And one other one that I want to mention, and there's a shit ton more that we can talk to in a bonus episode one day. D'Lo Brown has a underwhelming return in 2008 for some reason. Do you remember that happening?
No.
He comes back in a prominent role on Raw, and then he just slowly floats to the bottom of the barrel. Also, actually, one more that I want to mention. Maybe one of the more disappointing ones. Christian returning to ECW in 2009. You know the real ECW?
I know the real ECW, yes.
Yeah. Do you remember that return at all?
No. What did he do? What happened?
He confronts Jack Swagger, and the big call on commentary is from Todd Grisham, who goes, "It's Christian!"
And then Christian wins the championship, right?
Eventually.
Okay.
The ECW championship.
Yes.
But it was just weird that he debuted on a third-string show after being gone from the company for 4 years.
They never liked him.
Yeah, we all hear the story about the blue dot that they wanted to put over his face or whatever. It's very awkward. But hey, listen, we're going to do more
What are
of
you
this.
enjoying more?
What?
Christian's current run in AEW or Edge's current run in WWE?
Yeah, I think that's a Patreon discussion.
All right, let's get there.
But that's the end of this episode for this week. We went way longer than usual, but it's okay. I think you guys appreciate this. This felt like a fun episode.
I didn't like it at all.
Okay, well, it's probably because you got birthday wishes from a man who touched you in inappropriate places when you were a small teen. So that's awkward. But hey, listen. Make sure you follow us on social media at Iron on Wrestling. You can follow me on social media at Gregory Iron, on Twitter at Gregory_Iron, on Instagram. Find me on Facebook, facebook.com/thehandicappedhero. Make sure you DM me for pro wrestling bookings, pro wrestling seminars, motivational speaking engagements. I'm available for all of those. Just send me a direct message on those platforms. Go to my pro wrestling tee store, prowrestlingtees.com/Gregory Iron, where you can buy my merch. You can buy Aaron's merch. You can buy Iron on Wrestling merch. You can buy a Raw Destiny shirt that is selling like hotcakes. You could also go and find me on Cameo when you're not looking for Bushwhacker Luke, and you can get a shout out for any occasion whatsoever. I'll be happy to do that for you. Aaron, what would you like to plug?
Well, I am on Twitter at Fair to Air, Instagram at Fair to Aaron. Also, my Pokemon name. What? Okay.
No, go ahead, please say it.
You're giving me a look like, don't judge me for the things I do.
It's fine.
Or for the person I am.
You're allowed to judge me for going to Disney, but go ahead. Keep playing your fucking Pokemon bullshit.
Well, Pokemon is what a lot of real men are doing these days.
Okay. All right.
A lot of us.
So plug your Pokemon.
Hold on. Let me finish changing this oil on the car real quick. All right. Real men.
Okay.
Hey, you know what was sweet about this weekend? The best part, maybe, for my wrestling return, is that podcast superstar Jerry came to the ring in this sequin jacket and a Pokemon card around his neck. But it wasn't like worth anything. And he punched a hole in it so he could put a string through it. So even if it was of any value at any point, it was now worth nothing.
It was like a Pikachu.
It was like a sand shrew or something.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that was maybe my favorite part. I really like that touch. Okay, so I'm El Fresho on Pokemon Go, and that's EL and then FRESH and then the number 0. So El Fresho, and then Happy Kitty 8173 over on Yahtzee.
You want to cover your actual social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram?
No, I think it's okay if I just leave that alone.
Okay, well, that's it for this week. Come back again next week. Until then.
I wonder if you'll ever catch on.
What?
Well, that's the end of the show.
Till next week.
Kiss me.
Farewell. Kiss goodbye.
Kiss me for my birthday.
Okay, here it is. Do I have to give you 68 more?
Oh.
Aaron, I heard it's a special little boy. And I have something special just for you.
It's our remix to your birthday. We're going out on a Tuesday. Do you want to go to a rave or visit the Indianapolis Speedway from your hometown? Or does that bring back memories from when you weren't out and trapped in the closet? You were trapped in the closet, but you got out from Indiana to Chicago to LA. I believe you can fly. Come on, Aaron, spread your wings. I believe you can touch the sky. You're a miracle, I must confess. Based on that time your beard turned white from stress. So if you feel like losing hope, just remember you married Luke. Hey, you made it.
You're a DJ.
You're the world's greatest. Happy birthday from me to you. And your R. Kelly tattoo.
Happy birthday, Aaron. This song was from me to you. I hope this is a birthday for the books. And I would love to see the tattoo sometime. Have a good day. Have a good birthday. Because today is your birthday. Today is not your birthday, but when you get this, it will be your birthday. See ya.